Hello, everybody. Welcome to PaizoCon 2023.
First off, I want to give you a little look at the debut of the full-color final art by Wayne Reynolds for the Player Core cover. You might have seen the sketch of this cover, and we'll talk a little bit more about the sketch. This book contains ancestries, all of the ones that were in the core rulebook, plus new classics, the Leshy and the Orc, very popular ancestries. We know people are going to be really excited to have this book. This is also a spot where we were able to bring in a concept to introduce an advanced player's guide. Skills are getting an update with some better presentation and some revisions, especially to recall knowledge, and spells includes a bunch of new spells, tuned up spells, some really fun revisions there. And then playing the game, the chapter, all. Next up is GM4 and
our friends at BCom Studios, who we have a multi-game deal with to produce several video games for us. The first of those games is Pathfinder Abomination Vault, which will be kickstarting soon. We're recording this ahead of time, so sorry to burst the appearance of this being live. It's not...
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
Basically anything you can think of that you want to talk about, someone else will want to talk about it with you on our forums. If you are a YouTuber, we have our community use policy, anything able to use so that you can make your YouTube videos discussing Pathfinder and you don't have to worry about us breaking down your door for any reason.
Don't care.
Jenny, what do you got for us?
Well, we actually teased this just a little tiny bit last year at PaizoCon, but we have not formally announced it. So I am very pleased, beyond pleased, to announce to you that very soon we are going to be having a new hardcover adventure path called Mechageddon. It is a 3rd to 18th level adventure.
Yo! Ah!
The thing I really want to talk about is our upcoming release, which is Lost Omens High Helm. This is a new book that's coming out in June. And this book is kind of pulling double duty. It's both a gazetteer of the city of High Helm and also a big focus on dwarven culture.
That's it, lads! Rockin'! I hear a rockin' stone for this fight! For rockin'!
So help me God.
And you know, with that, I'd like to pretty much say that's almost it. Thank you, everybody.
Then wake up! Get your ass up!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pathfinder Remaster panel, a part of PaizoCon 2023. I am Jason. We've got a whole bunch of different book types coming out. You know, we of course are going to be releasing the full color covers. We've got special editions. We haven't released what those look like yet, but we have released the special retailer covers. So we'd love to show you those if you haven't seen them. There's going to be retailer exclusive edition. These versions are only going to be available on the store, at least at first. And
we have Vincent.
We have. Has a lot more flexibility, and there are a lot of fun ways we're finding to kind of apply it or let you use it discretionarily. So there's some really cool stuff that's.
Is this the part where James gets to tell them about spirit damage, or are we doing that later?
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
So with that, I think, you know, it's probably time for us to start talking about the real meat of this book, the thing that folks are going to be most excited about. And that is the classes.
We really took a look at what are people doing with the War Priest and what can we do to make it easier, more appealing, and more attractive to the players, right? One of the things we realized is Final Doctrine now gives it master proficiency with its deity's favored weapon.
Yes!
And so one of the big things we wanted to do is we said, hey, why don't we make sure that all of the orders have cool things that they can do? And so, that speaks to things like some custom spell shaping abilities that they can get. If you're a storm order, that allow you to, say, create thunderclaps when you use electrical attacks or leave kind of snow on the ground. Things like the
I'm actually going to throw the mic to Logan. Logan deserves to be the one to get to tell people this.
Oh god. Is it that we removed an entire trait?
Yes, it is. It was a thing that, like, the moment Treasure Vault dropped, I was like, man, people are going to be so happy. There's so many cool weapons in here. And there was, like, a 2-week period where people were like, yay, look at all the new weapons. And then inevitably followed but it's really complicated for my rogue to get to use some of these cool new weapons, even the ones that are really roguey. And I was like, you know what? Fair cop.
You got me.
The rogue is now going to be able to actually get to use all of those cool new weapons that we dropped in Treasure Vault that people were like...
I should also mention that the Byrde also got all martial weapons, and that meant we needed to do something new for the Warrior Muse, and we did something new for the Warrior Muse. I will not spoil that one at this time.
Sometimes.
So now every familiar has some cool and rather unusual ability they get from the time to send your familiar to do something. You just ask your patron to do it, and your patron will just move its game so powerful that it becomes harder for other characters to kind of cast around it. And the hair feeds have all been bundled together into something which is so angry that you're fighting that you use the portal and just reach right through your body and grab your head. We're still limiting you to 1 hex per turn.
So this is one of the big changes that we haven't announced yet, kind of one of the ones that's closest to the scale of the alignment change.
What?
But we kind of wanted to hold off till we had people and we could kind of talk about it in a little more detail. And that is another thing that was kind of legacy from the OGL that we realized we needed to remove, and that is spell schools. James, what about Divine Land? The underpowered divine attack spell.
The underpowered divine attack spell that does 2d4 spirit damage and therefore can affect anything that isn't like a rock.
So chases, sometimes the best way to engage was to tell half the party, like, go sit over there, you're not going to make things better by participating. And that's no longer the chase. Chase.
Come on.
We're also including the elemental planes that were introduced in Rave Developments. We're also going to have the same planar diagram that in Rave Developments is also going to appear in
Let me just say, Logan, I appreciate your moving that book so fast that no one can even screen cap it. It's just a blur that folks are gonna have to
somebody screen capped it. I'm sure somebody got it.
I have no knowledge of any of this. This is so bizarre.
I did an interview with How It's Played where I told people 3 facts. I said, we do not have a rune named Sturdy in this book. We do still have Sturdy shields, and something else I don't remember, but I told you to come talk to me at PaizoCon. So I kind of intentionally misled people as I warned up front. We do in fact now have a type of shield rune. It's just not called Sturdy, it's called Reinforcing.